him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack-a-magab, it's time for the only news that matters. And with each passing year, it seems to be becoming increasingly more uncommon for someone to boast that they have seen Queen live multiple times with Freddie Mercury. Especially if you are a US-based fan, as their last tour with the now legendary frontman took place 42 years ago in 1982. That I could have seen Queen if they came down to South Florida in 1982 or in 1979 on. Unfortunately, I never got to see them, but it turns out that the former Motley Crue singer John Corabi is one of the lucky few. During an interview with Talk Louder podcast, I dig that podcast, by the way, Corabi boasts that he had seen Queen with Freddie an impressive 5 times in concert and explained how there was no other frontman like him. He said apparently when they first came out with Night at the Opera, they were still in an opening act. But I saw them in a place in Philadelphia called the Tower Theater, opening for Mott the Hoople. And I just sat there, and as soon as they went into, Killer Queen, I was like, oh fuck, I heard that song before. I had no idea who it was, so I started buying the records. I guess it was the At Night at the Opera tour, the very beginning, but then I saw them on the Day at the Races tour in News of the World and Jazz. Corabi, who left the Crue in 1997 and is currently the lead singer of the Dead Daisies, also got specific about what made Mercury such a special performer, which was no easy task as some of the rock's all-time great frontmen were still at their peak at the precise time during the mid to late 70s. Mick Jagger, Robert Plant, Roger Daltrey, David Bowie, Ozzy Osbourne, etc. John said, other than that, first time I saw them, they never had an opening act. It was just a massive production. And they walked on stage and they played for hours. It was fucking brilliant. I just sat there, and as campy as Freddie was at the end, you couldn't touch the guy. He just did the coolest shit. He'd walk all over the piano, grab a bottle of champagne, and pour himself a glass, take a sip out of it, and then pour it on the front row. Like, all right, darlings, let's go. But it was fucking brilliant. Unbelievable. Yes, I'm very blessed to have seen that one. Well, there you go, man. I unfortunately never got to see Queen. And I've always been a big Queen fan. Even before I was really into music, I owned on 45 Killer Queen and I owned Bohemian Rhapsody. And I do remember when they were playing the Sportatorium on the News of the World tour with Thin Lizzy. I was way too young. And I don't even think at that time, oh, I want to go. I wasn't even thinking that. I just heard they were coming. But I was a little kid. I couldn't go to concerts. I guess I understood at the time till the rock got me so bad that it was depressing when my parents said, you're too young, you can't go. I mean, at the time that Queen came with Thin Lizzy, I was too young that I knew I couldn't go. But I wish I did, because I'm even a bigger Thin Lizzy fan. But shit, I love Queen, especially News of the World era. Are you kidding me? I mean, I worship all the albums up to News of the World, really. So I would have loved to see it. And Corabi got to, man. Now, as far as him being the greatest frontman, hey, man, I've never seen him live, so I can't judge. I can just say, judging by video footage of Freddie Mercury, he was awesome. The way he would strut around the stage, his amazing voice. I just loved it, you know? But if I would have seen Queen, let's say like in 80, 81, 82, around that time, I don't think, though I could be wrong, but I don't think he would have impressed me more than when I saw David Lee Roth in the early 80s. I don't think anybody can touch David Lee Roth. When I saw him live in the 80s, nobody can touch him ever since. Not even David Lee Roth today can touch classic Dave. You know, the 80s up to Eat 'em and Smile. Because I saw Women and Children First, Fair Warning, Diver Down, and 1984, and Eat 'em and Smile. And nobody can touch him. And I can't picture Freddie Mercury being better than David Lee Roth. But, like I said, I wasn't there, so I can't judge. Maybe he was better. I don't know. But I will say, without a doubt, I believe Corabi, man, that he thinks he saw the greatest frontman ever. And I would believe him, because again, you know, he's much older than me. Timeline is different. Before Freddie Mercury, Mick Jagger was the guy, then Freddie. Well, Freddie was an afterthought, really. I mean, Mick Jagger pretty much ruled, you know, 70s and 80s and beyond, really. I mean, he's considered the greatest frontman to a lot of people, you know. Me, it's Dave, man, but what I've seen of Freddie Mercury, the guy's phenomenal. That really famous Live Aid performance, man, I watched that. I remember watching it back in 85 and didn't really think much of it. Rewatching it now, you know, after Bohemian Rhapsody used it as the grand finale, them reenacting it, man, I watched that Live Aid thing and I'm like, yeah, I understand now. I understand how Queen just destroyed every single band at Live Aid. They were just phenomenal, especially Freddie Mercury. Just unbelievable. So yeah, there you go, man. That's what John Corabi thinks. And John Corabi is awesome. A few years back, he released a song called Così Bella, So Beautiful. Man, check out that tune. That is, if you like that Beatlesque, like 60s and 70s, early 70s pop. Man, it's got that vibe. It sounds like it was recorded back then. And it's just an amazing song, man. I love it. And I love this stuff in Union. I love his, of course, the Motley album and Scream. I talked about it the last time I talked about Corabi. I saw the Scream, you know, live before he was in Motley Crue. And I like all that stuff. But I gotta say, man, I can't get into this Dead Daisy stuff. I tried. It's just not working for me. I just don't like it. I don't like it. You know, as I understand, this is what I understand. One of the band members of the Dead Daisies is so freaking rich that Dead Daisy has a private jet to take them to all their club shows. You know, and this guy, I'm sure he's paying John Corabi very well. Hey, he had Glenn Hughes in the band. Sure, he paid him very well as well, so hey, more power to him, man. And people dig the Dead Daisies, and good, man. This guy's blowing a lot of money. Hopefully, you know, there are people out there that get it. I just don't. I don't get it, but hey, man, John Corabi's got to make a living, right? So good thing he's back in the Dead Daisies to cash in more money than he would touring around, you know, as he has been doing with his acoustic guitar, doing a little acoustic set alone. And I've seen John Corabi do that at one of those pre-Kiss cruise shows in Miami. He did it outside at the pool, and it was freaking amazing, man. I love John Corabi, man. He's awesome, and he deserves, you know, to be rich. I think he paid his dues. He got fucked over by Motley Crue, you know. So, and he rocked when it wasn't cool to rock with the Union albums. That first album, Blue Room, rock, man. I highly recommend those as well. Those are some killer rock albums, man. But there you go. John Corabi thinks Freddie Mercury is the greatest frontman ever, and I think David Lee Roth is the greatest frontman ever. But, you know, I mean, it's just opinions, man. What's your opinion? Leave it in the comments below. Who do you like more? Mick Jagger, you know, David Lee Roth, or, you know, Freddie Mercury, you know? I also got to add, I'm a big fan of Dee Snider as a frontman. And Phil Anselmo. I think those are like my top three that I witnessed live, you know? Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave it in the comments below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't and ring that little notification bell. I totally would appreciate that. And if you are subscribed, please check to see if you're still subscribed, because people are getting unsubscribed for no reason. And that blows. Alright? And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath. And smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.